I think that all of us can relate to that, where all of us, when we've been in situations where we've been doing something that we don't have any intrinsic inspiration towards or passion at. It's just a slog. And I think most of us have been there. On the other hand, there is this very real reality where we all do need to earn a paycheck and, put a roof over our heads and food on the table and all those things. I'd love to hear about how you balance both of those. And maybe you can talk about how do you bring your passion and bring who you are as a person, all those things that you know about yourself into your work in these different aspects. Maybe you can help us understand a little bit more about the work that you do at the Hudson Community Incubator as the community manager, where I imagine it's part of your role to build these connections and be a person that brings people and organizations together.
Yeah. So that's exactly what it is. I guess for your first question about how do I balance like pursuing passion and paying the bills. So personally, I have like a little safety net, which is Grubhub, right? So that's like my controllable, I need a couple $100 this week for this thing. Let me drive for Grubhub, right? Because it's totally autonomous, right? And so there's that. So there are things like that. But it's also different, right? Like I'm single. I'm not a mother, right? I don't have other people depending on me financially, right? That kind of a thing. So what I would say to those people who are maybe not in a position to just kind of like jump, is to start to plan your transition, right? And making time for it, which is hard. That's the thing that's hard too. It's like we really have to like set up our lives in a way where we're not so busy, right? Even like like this year was the first year that I really wanted to like embody like the energy of the seasons, because we're natural beings, right? And so everything else in nature kind of slows down in the winter, and in America we are expected to produce at the same level all year round without a break.
Or more. Q4 holiday season.
Big push.
That's getting ready for year end. Oh yeah. This has not been a slow season for many of us.
Right. And that can be difficult, right? But also it's, even if you can't, control what your work is demanding of you, you can still find other ways to kind of, slow down, right? Like look at your time. How am I spending my time, and what can go by the wayside for at least the next few months while I really like start to figure out like how I am going to make this transition out of here. Because if you really want to make the transition, you just have to take the time to plan for it. It may take a year or two, but at least it'll happen. Right. So a lot of people, if they have a full-time job already, will kind of start like a little side hustle, and I always recommend doing like the smallest viable action, like just start, right? Like that's a big thing in working for yourself, is like you just kind of have to start, because you have to try out different things, and not everything is going to stick, right? So if you wait until all conditions are perfect to make the change, it may never happen. And you don't have to stop your current job now to start putting your passion out there, right? Because, you don't know what's going to happen with it anyway. So that's what I would say as far as like a balance is concerned, is like, it's okay that if you're still doing work that is not necessarily, so life-giving, but it's providing income for you. But make time for yourself, gift yourself the time, even if it's just, an hour a week or something, to just sit down and think about like, what do I want? How can I be of best use, and how can I start to do that now? Like in the smallest, most non-committal way, is there one person I can charge to do this thing, to do this consulting thing, right? Like if you're a marketing consultant, and maybe you're doing marketing work for a corporation and you have aspirations of starting your own agency, find one client, find one client and have them be your beta person. Find a friend who needs your help and isn't going to be super rigid with you if you don't have everything figured out for them, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Because you just never know what will take hold and like move you away. You just don't know what opportunities are available until you start like navigating out into the world.